Oh, welcome back, everyone. We have the drivers now just coming around to form up the grid. What promises to be a interesting race here at Spa-Francorchamps. We can get a good view of our drivers lining up on the grid. Hopefully Codemasters will give us a slightly better view of the start. And we are away. And it looks like Hamlin has got a good start. It's just squeezing Max there onto the entry of the first corner and is away, but Max is bothering the back of that Alfa Romeo. As Dezo has retired from the session in the first corner, has brought out a virtual safety car as they come through Eau Rouge. The virtual safety car should help prevent there being any problems through the Eau Rouge, and they are all safely through, so that's good to see on the first lap. But unfortunately, Dezo has retired from this race. We'll just wait for the marshals to get on track and remove the stricken Red Bull. We will shortly be back racing under green flag conditions. It's a very long virtual safety car period. Must be a lot of that Red Bull to tidy up.
Got a lap to do it.
And we are back under green flag conditions, and well, what happened to Hamlin? Looks like Hamlin's had a spin and has a drive-through penalty, so that must have been a... Yeah, must have just been the... Yeah, for the VSC, just not getting back onto the Delta after the reset, and that is unfortunate for the driver that got such a good lap for pole position. Now, Dog, Sienebob and Hercules are leading the way in this Belgian Grand Prix.
Oh my god.
As our timing tower is completely screwed.
Thing. Oh, they're letting Hoof through? What's happening there?
Karate. Oh, and a big sideways moment there from Sienebob, and it's still going on. It was more than a moment. Whew.
Oh no, he's sideways in front of someone.
And that looks like a stricken AlphaTauri on the inside of the hairpin, and that is no front wing on that car. Very unfortunate for Sienebob after such a good showing in qualifying.
It's a long
And
lap for
our timing tower is still fecked.
that. Yeah, I'm using the map.
Yep, completely fecked. Cool.
Lost my mouse, my alarm panic.
As Nordy is up into P3, making some moves, the McLaren driver. And let's just hope he can keep it together for the remaining 20 laps of this race. And the Spa curse for Nordy might be over. Oh, and the timing towers is beginning to give us gaps, which is nice. So we can now see that Neuro is all over the back of Crusoe. So they come into Eau Rouge. And it appears Sienebob has made it safely round to the pit lane, so we'll be able to change that front wing, change his tyres and get back on his way.
A few of them in there. Got 4 of them in their own race now.
And this front pack, this leading pack of this race, still as close as they've been. Hercules just dropped back a bit from Dog, so he's now out of DRS range of his teammate, which does put him under threat from Nordy behind.
Other big winners, Neuro and Crusoe, in 5th and 6th.
If we take a look at the winners and losers, yeah, say Crusoe up 9 positions from his start, and yeah, I mean, as we all could have predicted, the biggest loser here, or the one with the biggest loss, we should say, is Hamlin.
Your personal opinions out of the commentary, right?
Currently sitting down in P13 after a horrible first lap here at Spa. And Crusoe having picked up a penalty as well. Is that just for track limits? Yes, just a 3-second track limit violation penalty. So not a drive through for Crusoe, and will be able to keep going, but needs to make sure he doesn't pick up too many of those.
Yeah.
Nordy still chasing down Hercules and closing that gap up.
DRS open now, right?
Yep,
The safe didn't last well then.
We'll get the DRS on the Kemmel straight this lap.
Oh, he's very close already.
So close now on the Kemmel straight. And let's see that DRS flap open wide, and Nordy is through on Hercules.
Yeah, it's not much you can do about it.
Yeah, you can't really defend from DRS on that straight. It's far too long. As Screeper points out, Hamlin has spun again and is now fallen way off the back of Sienebob. So Hamlin having an awful race here after such a fantastic qualifying session.
It so happens like that in this game. You get hot tires, you get stressed, you're struggling in the hot, you finally get them down again, but you're still stressed about catching up.
And Nordy finding a bunch of pace here, is now chasing down Dog and has closed that gap up after Hercules fell back from his teammate. Nordy's closed into that 1 second gap, so the first DRS zone coming up.
Looks like Hercules has taken a few wide lines to keep in contact with the guys in front, hoping to be involved in this fight.
Hercules still extremely close to the back of Nordy, and the next DRS zone not really one to overtake on, but does allow you to close up the gap to the car in front as you head into the Eau Rouge and Radion section.
Oh, he's out of a second now.
We take a look at the telemetry of these 3 drivers. Hercules, the one who's burning the ERS candle at the moment. Really trying to keep in touch with Nordy.
Might be worth it. It stays in DRS.
Yeah, if you can get into the DRS range in the on the Kemmel straight, as Dog picks up a 3-second penalty for track limits violation. So easy to do through Eau Rouge and Radion. And
looks like his run through El Rouge wasn't good enough. He lost so much time.
Perhaps just different setups coming into play here between the 3 drivers at the front.
It shows why Nordy had so much speed on him in the lap before.
Oh, and a
Oh
big
no!
spin!
Don't do that!
Oh, the teammates
no!
have collided. The two Aston
Oh, no.
Martins out of this race. Oh, and
Oh,
the Crusoe.
He's already dead.
Oh wow.
Oh, no.
We're just gonna keep watching here because there's still more drivers to come through this section of the track. As we got a safety car out, three stricken cars in this area of the track, and yep, everyone being super careful here. They can see the yellow flag. They know what's here now, and the safety car is out. So hopefully these remaining drivers will be careful when approaching this incident. Well, that was some horrific crashing there. And if we take a look at Nordy, who was the first driver on the scene, still looks like they've got their front wing intact. So good evasive driving from Nordy there, not to get collected by the spinning dog. And Hercules there really just... Oh no! Looks like maybe...
Yeah, safety car pit.
Safety car pit stop, of course. Fine. And Hamlin also with the safety car pit stop, but that is from a lap down. So Hamlin will now have the opportunity to run back around and try and catch up to the back of this safety car queue.
Mediums. I'd heard you can finish on mediums. It's a lot of laps there.
And I think there will be a quite a strong debrief from Lawrence Stroll this evening on the two Aston Martin drivers. That was a horrific crash, and yeah, as mentioned in chat, perhaps Hercules just not paying attention to the yellow flags there and collecting his teammate in a... Really should have been backing off there. Would have known there was an incident in front of him.
I didn't see how quick the yellow flags come out, but they're normally instant with this game.
Yes, we have 4 drivers in the pits at the moment. All that they're coming out now in the order they entered in, so no one was able to get that jump.
Can I see the tyres? I want to see who pitted.
Yep, if we take a look at the stops, so it looks like everyone so far has made a stop in this race at least.
Anybody going on to hards?
Yep, so we've got Mark Hopkins and Hamlin on the hard compound tyre.
I heard some people in the race strategy were talking about being more comfortable on the hards at long distances there.
Yep, so still with 16 laps of this race to go, or probably likely 15 laps by the time we end this safety car period. Potentially some of those soft runners, especially the likes of Sienebob, who's already got 2 laps on that set of mediums, might be struggling.
Neuro will be looking to play with the front guys or create some time for himself on those softs. That's the only way that's going to work.
Yeah, he's going to need to clear these 2 cars ahead and disappear and try and get a pit stop in hand if he wants to win this race, because he's not getting to the end on those soft tyres. Cool Radion. Doesn't well to find himself up in P2. The two drivers at the top, well, really profiting from some incidents from the drivers that were previously at the top, with Hamlin, Dog and Hercules dropping way down the order.
Upside down race.
Out.
We've got people like Neuro and Stark in the mix now who didn't have the greatest of qualifying.
Yeah, this safety car has really allowed some of the drivers who perhaps thought they were going to just be in for a little bit of a nothing race, have really been able to get back in the action, with Mark Hopkins, who was unable to set a valid lap at all during qualifying, currently sitting in P6. So we will have another lap behind the safety car, and it is a long old lap here at Spa. So we can just admire the scenery and shoot the breeze as these cars take us on another lap.
Yeah, somebody talking about the curbs. I thought the curbs were deadly here, but the guys who did the fastest times were taking risks on those curbs. I don't imagine it's not a race line.
See, Mark Hopkins here, as I'd imagine, really having to weave down every single straight just to keep heat in those tyres. With
Oh,
him
he's in
and
the hard.
Hamlin on the hard tyres, they're going to have to really manage the temperatures in order to get a decent run on this safety car restart. Not too bad for Hamlin, as they already find themselves at the back of the pack and can't lose any more, so their safety car restart isn't going to be so crucial. But Mark Hopkins find themselves up in 6th. It's not going to want to lose too many places to the medium runners behind, and needs to keep that weaving going. And I imagine if we look at Neuro, yeah, some minor weaving for Neuro there, but really doesn't need to worry about the temperature of those tyres.
Those little wiggles aren't going to do anything. That's the way engineer keeps telling me. Endlessly.
As we come round to start the 3rd sector, we should get an announcement soon of whether the safety car is going to come in this lap. I imagine it would do. The marshals have nicely cleaned up the carbon fibre, and yep, we have message from race control, safety car in this lap, so Nordy will take over the as the safety car of this pack until we reach the safety car line. I believe is just at the beginning of the start-finish straight here at Spa.
What's the strategy here? Do you back it up and then go after the bus stop? I think I'll be tempted to do that while the cars are not facing the right way.
Yeah, you've kind of also just want to be watching your mirrors. Just if someone closes up that gap too much, as Caradion appears to be doing, you can sometimes wait until they dive on the brakes and then jump for it. But Caradion just keeping a respectful distance there. And it looks like Nordy has... Oh, and a big wide line there from Nordy, just missing the apex at the bus stop, as Caradion gets a handful of oversteer there, and that's potentially just saved Nordy and Stark up on the inside onto Neuro.
It meant Calderon couldn't dive up the outside ready to straighten up for the restart. It was a fantastic idea. I don't know if he did it on purpose.
And they are, as they started this safety car lap, and now with the drivers all going to have ample ERS, Neuro making a move up the inside of Caradion.
What happened to Max's straight line speed? The guy in front's being helped along.
And now Neuro up into 2nd place, is in prime position to be chasing down Nordy.
Yeah, on those soft tyres. Might be, I don't know if he wants to battle that guy. Does he think Neuro's going to drive away?
As Stark and Jinxie, the 2 Mercedes drivers, are also battling for position here, down in 5th and 6th. As Stark goes very wide there, and that's allowed Jinxie through.
Looks like he lost a bit of traction there.
Behind them, Mark Hopkins lost a position to one of the Mercedes drivers on the restart, as we probably would have expected on those hard tyres, but can now just get on with running their race. But Neuro catching right up to the back of Nordy now.
Those soft tyres are still in the prime of their life.
Yeah, and Nordy here going to want to try and hold up Neuro as much as he can, just to compromise his strategy, as we do believe, well, we're almost guaranteed here that Neuro is going to have to make another pit stop onto a different compound of tyre. So the longer Nordy can hold them up.
Do you want to battle him too hard? Because, I mean, is he in a race with Nordy? He could be if he drives down the road.
If he can get ahead of Nordy and get 20 seconds up the road, he could be on for the win here. It's a big ask for Neuro.
He's probably going to have to come out on... Oh, can he do too soft? Oh, no, he needs to... No, he started on mediums. Yeah, Jesus. Ways.
That is
so much action there.
So much overspeed there. And
followed him up El Rouge.
I think now Nordy just has to settle into 2nd place and put in some solid laps if he wants to keep hold of this 1st position. There's not much he can really do about Neuro other than just try not to lose too much pace to the Ferrari driver.
He used 2/3 of his lap energy trying to defend that, so he didn't make it easy.
As down the order, Air Jordan is trying to make his way up the order, already clearing Well, both Sienebob and Air Jordan have cleared Mark Hopkins. Mark Hopkins really not doing well on those hard
Oh, what
tyres.
happened? Did he have a little?
Doesn't look like it. He is still holding on to the back of the pack, only 7/10 behind. So
It's hard tyres. Might have
just
been
the hard tyres don't have the grip at this point in the race.
Seems a severe loss though.
With this pack down at the back of the top 10, keeping each other honest, and I think Mark Hopkins is just going to be hoping that some of the performance comes back to him towards the end of this stint. These mediums are going to be wearing out towards the end of this race. If these drivers are hoping to one-stop it, as Neuro sets the fastest lap of the race, but hasn't dropped Knordy by that much. Knordy's still in DRS range at the moment, so this is playing into their hands. They've been burning a lot of ERS to stay there, but having the DRS down the Kemmel straight should keep them in contention and doesn't allow Neuro to slip away.
Yeah, so
And eke out too much of a gap here.
Neuro has to make those soft last 15 laps if he's going to finish the race.
I think Pirelli would have something to say about that strategy.
Yeah, surely too much. It'd be like driving on low fuel at the end. If they don't burst.
As Max catching onto the back of Caradion now. Oh, but Max picking up the 3-second time penalty.
Not good in a tight finish.
Oh
no!
Jinxie
Good
just
driving.
noticing there. Wow, that could have been horrific, but Jinxie just managing to spot the stricken Haas and dodging out of the way.
Oh, that was an okay rejoin. That's fine.
Yeah, it's no cars around him at the moment, so it's all good, and he's managed to get back on his way. But that does allow Karadian to stop looking in his mirrors and can now concentrate on keeping in touch with Nordy.
Which they are doing. They're keeping in touch with Neuro as well. It's 3 laps. He's already no longer driving away from those guys.
Yep, and Nordy actually looking like he's putting Neuro under some pressure here. These two previously across-division teammates, Neuro having moved to Ferrari from McLaren, and Nordy not benefiting from the Neuro setup this race.
Yeah,
as they are now on different teams.
He was quite a fan, I remember.
And right on the back of Neuro, it's not going to want to really try and doesn't need to make a move here. These guys on different strategies here can wait it out a few laps when his tyres will be stronger than Neuro's soft tyres, probably in about 5 or so laps, and that should make the pass along the Kemmel Straight extremely easy, so no need to risk a dive at this stage of the race. As Sienebob is now on the back of Stark.
I'm uncertain whether Neuro's on a different strategy. Like he might try and stretch them. Cruzo seems to think so in chat.
I think it's a big risk stretching.
Oh no!
And it's that is a big crash for Sienebob straight into the wall.
That's such a classic point to lose the back there.
And thankfully there are no other cars around him, so he's not going to be collecting anyone else. And that is a safety car, so that will play into Neuro's hands. He's going to be able to
make them last a bit longer.
But I still think the as Neuro dives into the pits now, taking the opportunity to get off of those soft compound tyres. He's run the mandatory 2 compounds of tyres now. And
yeah, he can put whatever he wants on. I would put mediums on.
Let's see what it goes for. Another set of soft tyres. So an aggressive strategy here from Neuro.
10 laps, that's actually fine. He'll do it on 10.
And that brings him out into P5, so with a P4. So Neuro's going to be one to watch for the rest of this race, because he's only going to be 3 positions off the... Neuro could have played a blinder here. We've only... Likely when they get started again, 8 or 9 laps left of this race.
You've got to think, Roy. He's going to be out under safety car for a lap or two. That's a nice, easy warming up for the soft tires.
Yes, as I said,
You've got to do 9 or 8 laps at full speed.
8 race speed laps is easily doable on the softs, and it's just really just going to have to make sure he can clear the cars ahead quickly. We did see that Nordy did have the pace to keep up with him.
It was interesting because Nuro was in front. Obviously the others didn't have time. I would have been tempted to dive in the pits if I saw him go in. He's got to go past a few, and then yeah, if he makes places quickly.
So Nuro and Air Jordan opting for the soft. Maybe Jinxie, Stark and Hamlin just kicking themselves that they didn't check to see how many laps were remaining of this race. But that the other cars behind also pitting did help Neuro out. So Neuro potentially further up the field than they would have expected otherwise if the likes of Jinxie, Air Jordan, Stark and Hamlin didn't pit. And Mark Hopkins profiting quite nicely there, up into 5th after dropping back. But we've got to expect probably more of the same for Mark Hopkins here after this safety car restart of just falling down the order.
Yeah, fresh tyres behind as well.
But for this restart, we will keep an eye on Neuro because we think this is likely to be the driver making up the positions here.
Yeah, he got the most out of his softs before, didn't he?
And we're going to have another lap under safety car, so another 3 minutes before we get underway here.
I'm sure. Yeah, it's getting into real nice territory for Neuro for a sprint to the finish.
It's looking overcast here, but I don't think we have any rain forecast. I could be wrong, but I think it's going to be dry to the end.
Air Jordan overruling his engineer. I think he did the right thing.
And we're not quite at the heady heights of retirement as the PC Division 5 Spa of last year, but we're getting close with 5 drivers out and only 9 remaining.
And Cruzo confirms no rain, so we're going to have a sprint to the finish.
And again, that's going to play into Neuro's hands with it staying overcast. Keeps the track temperatures down, reduces the wear on those tyres, allows him to take them long as well.
They're going to feel like prey at the front at the moment with that Neuro call. I'm sure they've worked it out in their heads now.
Let me take a look and see how long these laps are taking. So remember, pole time around Spa was in the 1 minute 40s, and we're barely even at the end of sector 2, and we're in the 1 minute 40s under the safety car. So
right in this lap.
Yep, safety car will be in this lap. I'd imagine so.
My guess.
It's got to be, surely.
My big guess. It was here last time, wasn't it?
Yep, just as they enter the 3rd sector, we should get there. We go, safety car in this lap. So let's just see who has got the tyre warming done right. As we were saying before, this safety car lap is so slow for these Formula 1 cars that the tyres just drop out of their operating window. You can see Nordy just weaving left to right to left to right, getting the heat into those tyres. It's going to be especially important for Mark Hopkins on the hard compounder tyre. Can they do a better job than they did last time and not lose as many positions on the restart? Can Neuro move up again from P4 now? 3 cars ahead of him. He managed to make the move on Nordy for the lead of this race.
Here we go.
Within the first half a lap last time. It's not such a great exit from the bus stop chicane for Neuro, as Nordy's finding himself actually under pressure from Corradion. But
He
a
did the
big
same
lock
line.
up there. Caradion,
Oh, yeah.
big lock up, and he's under pressure from Max. So Max has got the inside line as they head down into Eau Rouge. Are they going to stay
Back
side
out.
by side for Eau Rouge? Either going to back out.
Back
Yep,
in.
Caradion does back out there. The
Sensible.
smart choice there. So, you have seen it all end in tears when cars go side by side for Eau Rouge, but they live to fight another day, and we won't have DRS here for a couple of laps, so the Kemmel Straight is going to have to be a natural pass at this moment in the race, and Neuro not making up the positions as well as they did last time on the safety car restart is now putting Caradion after pressure as they come to the midpoint of the lap.
Yeah, he's going to probably still need that DRS.
And it looks like it's really Caradion who's under pressure at this point in the race. Neuro with those soft tyres has got much grip around this second sector of the lap. With these tight corners, we've got a yellow flag in the second sector. It's Hamlin
Oh no,
having a
terrible.
spin. Oh, and it's really
Terrible
not been a
race
good
for
race for Hamlin. Still got their car in one piece, so they're able to carry on. But again,
You can see how much more grip Neuro has going through that sector 2, the important corners.
And Lord Volk, that is a 3-second penalty for Max at the moment. They picked up for track limit violations.
I think this is going to be a tight finish. It'll be good to avoid those.
Yeah, with this these safety cars coming out quite a lot here at Spa, the time penalties are really going to cost these drivers a lot with the pack so close together. Neuro not able to make up positions as easily as he did on that first safety car restart.
No DRS this lap? Is it next lap?
It will be next lap that the DRS gets enabled. We have to wait 2 laps after the safety car restart. Neuro comes up through Radion onto the Kemmel Straight. It's going to have a good amount of speed here. Gets into the slipstream of the Red Bull. But again, it's just the slipstream that's going to come into play here, and maybe just moving out of the slipstream of Caradion a bit early there.
We missed Air Jordan making a good pass there with no DRS.
Yeah, without the DRS, you really need to stay in that slipstream as long as possible, because that's how you get the you lose the air resistance off the front of your car. As soon as you come out of that slipstream, you're meeting the same air resistance as the car in front of you, and you just end up with the same top speed, and you can't make that pass. As Max goes very wide there.
He's going to have to stop doing that.
Doesn't want to pick up another penalty, and perhaps Nordy, knowing that he's Max with that penalty, doesn't have to fight him too hard. As it's unlikely Max is going to be able to pull a 3-second gap, even if he does get ahead.
You don't want to let him pass too early though, because you're like unsure of his pace.
And actually, Air Jordan now putting Neuro under pressure. Both drivers on new soft compound tyres, but it seems
we look at Max.
Air Jordan's the one. Oh, and Max going for the outside line into the bus stop chicane. Nordy with the inside line.
No. Oh, well done.
Oh, well done from the two of them. I mean, you've got it exactly as we saw between Max and Lewis at Monza. If you haven't got your nose ahead after the first corner of the chicane, you do not necessarily have the right to the second apex, so you do need to back out of that.
Nordy gave him a huge amount of respect there.
Yeah, just giving him enough space to put his car in there, but not enough to actually get a decent exit from the corner. But Max, again, back in the slipstream of Nordy, and you've got to say at this point, he can hang in that slipstream for so long, and he is now past. Here's Max. So Max now with the lead of this race, and Nordy now has Caradion right behind him, and a lock up there from the Red Bull of Caradion.
He hasn't lost any time.
And it seems to be Air Jordan who's making the most out of these soft compound tyres. Is right on the back of Neuro now as he moves to the inside. It's a fast corner to be trying to make a move on, and these drivers giving each other just enough room here. An awful lot of respect between the two drivers, and
you have to dive deep here if he wants to be on the. No, he's not.
No, yeah, you can't. Not really the easiest place on the track to make a move, as it's such a fast sweeping right, left, right. You don't really have the room to get your car alongside at racing speed.
Yeah, Neuro's not going to have to slow the car enough.
Air Jordan with a great amount of pace at this stage of the race. Just needs to find the point of the track where he can make an overtake.
I don't know how he's done that with one corner to work with.
Yeah, but Neuro's still going to have DRS here as he's right on the back of Calradion. It's going to make it harder for Air Jordan as he's not going to have the sole DRS in order to just breeze past the Ferrari. He's going to have to use the slipstream as well. He's still right on the back of Neuro.
I'm impressed with that driving.
Incredibly impressive.
Can he stay close here though?
So you come up through Radion onto the Kemmel Straight. He's close, but again, Neuro with DRS as well for the car in front just makes it that much harder to overtake as Mark Hopkins picks up a 3-second time penalty for track limit violations. He's currently finding himself down in P8, so unless he makes a bit more of a gap to Hamlin, he's going to find himself dropping to P9. And these 4 drivers so close together here. It's actually, we missed it, but Nordy managed to get himself back into the lead of this race. Of course, Max with the 3-second time penalty doesn't mean an awful amount, but Max here with these is going to be looking in his mirrors with these drivers behind him so close together and just hoping that they maybe slow each other down a bit so he can pull a gap and not drop so far back with that 3-second time penalty.
Great racing from these two at the front. There's no...
seems to be a problem for Air Jordan. They've dropped right back. Not sure what happened there. Didn't really see it. But potentially just an incident with their race with Neuro. But that has now freed up Neuro to go chasing down Calradion without having to look in their mirrors every 5 seconds.
I was gonna say there's no Lewis Max shenanigans going on in those corners.
We come around to start our 17th lap of this race. Oh no, sorry, 18th lap of this race. I thought Nordy had already passed the start-finish line. I did not realise quite how close these drivers are together. So we have 5 laps left of Spa, and these front 3 runners on their 11-lap-old medium compound tyres are going to start struggling soon, I would imagine.
Neuro has not made the most out of those soft tyres like he did in the last stint.
No,
if anything, he struggled a little bit to keep up.
Yeah, maybe the drivers ahead just driving a bit more defensively, not allowing Neuro to get past, and yeah, at this point...
A lot of energy flashing lights there, sorry. Can we have a look at their telemetry?
So Neuro still with 40% remaining, but Calradion running the battery dry there. So hovering around 20%, but that's going down below 10% whenever he's on the RS, so he needs to be careful not to derate and allow Neuro past.
Might be it. Ooh.
Max also running out the DRS at this stage.
Max getting very squirrely there.
And Nordy, the one here who's actually carrying the most charge, so Nordy running a bit more of a conservative race here, is keeping a bit in reserve in case he needs it later on.
Very clever. The guys behind are going to be fighting each other.
This really is this front 4 pack who are the tightest or the closest race on this track so far. But Neuro, with a decent amount of ERS energy at the moment, is going to want to try and spend that soon in order to make a pass on Calradion, because
Lazo's done on energy as well.
Those tyres will be going away from Calradion soon. Sorry, not Calradion, Neuro. But all 3 of these drivers behind Nordy have got DRS, so it's going to be tricky for them to make a move on each other. Nordy the only one really under threat.
Check Calradion's energy.
He's running it down at 5%, and he's going to be derating along the Kemmel Straight, and this is not good for Calradion at this point.
A long way. Long way to be low on energy.
Yep, this could open the door for Neuro here as...
Look at his speed, he's not catching.
Potentially just a setup issue for Neuro here then.
Maybe
as
not doing
Max and Nordy side by side, and Max has got the move made on Nordy again. And this just slowing these drivers down and backing them into Calradion and Neuro.
Fantastic fight.
Absolutely fantastic fight at the front here. At this point in the race, you have to say neither of these podium positions are finalised here. It's all still to fight for.
Yeah. Don't lose that second. This is quite a nice DRS train here.
And Max actually looking like he's pulling away from Nordy a bit. Actually, as Nordy's closing the gap up again around this section of the track.
Good.
Keeping himself in contention's got to really hold on to DRS at this point in the race. If Nordy loses DRS here, he could lose positions to Caradion and Neuro behind.
Yeah, he just threw 15% down on the straight. Doesn't want to lose that second.
And yeah, you have to say the holding that little bit of ERS energy in reserve as Nordy just spinning up the rears there on the exit of the bus stop chicane, loses 3 positions in one corner. That's how close the cars behind were running. And actually Jinxie gets himself into this fight as well. And Nordy's got to be grateful there that even though he's had that spin, because of how close this pack was running together, that he's not dropped himself too far out of DRS. As Neuro is now making the move on Caradion. Up the outside, he's finally made it through.
Finally did El Rouge. He just wasn't doing it quite good enough before, was he? He wasn't getting that run on the straight.
I think Caradion just not getting the DRS from Max on that particular run down the Camel Straight, and that was all Neuro needed. But the question now is, has Neuro got much life left in those soft compound tyres, or is Neuro going to start holding up the pack behind and start allowing Max to open up that gap in front? But at the moment it does look like Neuro is chasing down the Haas driver. It's keeping that gap below 1 second with just the final sector to go. This really is the moment where Max needs to start pushing if he wants to open up that gap with only 2 laps of this race remaining. It doesn't look like Max is going to pull up enough of a gap in order to
he's lost a lot of time. He's lost a lot of time. He was over a second ahead after Canodi's accident.
Oh, and takes a lot of curb there, and you could see Max getting a handful of oversteer as he goes through the bus stop chicane. And Neuro very close now, but Caradion is also close, and Jinxie close to Caradion. So this fight's still continuing as we enter the penultimate lap of this race. It does look, unfortunately for Nordy, that he's dropped off the back of this pack, so he's not really in this race for the podium positions at the moment. And it is Jinxie who's closing on to the back of this pack as Neuro's looking to make the move on Max around the outside as they come into the braking zone.
He's done that.
Oh, it's a great move there from Neuro. Obviously plenty of life still left in those soft tyres. And Max now under pressure from the drivers behind, and that 3-second time penalty is going to hurt when we get to the end of these next couple of laps.
Despite the 3 seconds, he still needed to make that pass because the guys behind were going to threaten him.
Yeah, especially as those soft tyres are now 8 lap old. I mean, the 8 laps potentially a bit more on paper than it is in reality. As you say, a couple of laps under the safety car does mean there's going to be a bit more life in them than we would see on a set of tyres which are 8 race laps onto them. And now Neuro has pulled out more than a second lead on Max over just a few corners. And this is going to put Max under pressure from Caradion, who is quickly catching onto the back of the Haas.
So with the 3 seconds, Caradion doesn't need to pass, but I would do it for the fact that Jinxie's threatening behind.
Yeah, especially as Jinxie on those younger medium compound tyres does look like he has the pace over Caradion at this point in the race. So Caradion's going to want to make that move. He's going to have DRS and sole DRS through the Camel Straight, as Max has dropped too far back to get it himself.
And it looks like Canodi is just in a battle with Max's penalty at the moment. Currently skirting 3 seconds.
Oh, it is going to be awfully close as it comes down to the end of this race.
1%.
0% there for... Oh, and a little bit of a late move there from the Haas.
Little pet peeve of mine.
Just a little bit of a dart to the inside to block the move from Calradion, and I imagine he's going to be furious in the cockpit of that Red Bull. That was a very late move from Max.
Looked like braking zone move to me.
And with Max already carrying that 3-second penalty, really didn't need to take that risk, as I imagine that's going to be a bigger penalty coming from the stewards, which will push him even further down the order.
We'll see. We'll see what they say. It is hard to see from the camera angle whether he was in the braking zone or not. Because it could have been one move to the inside, one move to the outside.
Yeah, as Majda says in the chat, it was a bit of a Haas moment. And it does appear that we have got Nikita Mazepin in the cockpit of that Haas, as Jinxie is right on the back of Max at the moment.
Too late.
It's got DRS, and yeah, it is too late, as that is the end of the race. Wow, action was so tense there, I forgot that we were on the last lap of the race.
Oh, Canodi lost so much time.
And our podium here will be Neuro, Jinxie and Calradion, with Max dropping out of the
Did we miss something happening to Air Jordan? I think we missed that.
Yeah, Air Jordan dropping a bit down the order there.
Maybe not making the softs last quite as long as Neuro did.
And with Neuro having made the same move as Carlos Sainz from McLaren into Ferrari, but has certainly made that move work for him better than Sainz has so far to take his first win here at Spa.
Yeah, soft tyres strategy, very smart. Made the most of it.
Yeah, perhaps those three who were running at the front after that safety car restart ruining their decision not to pit, as Neuro did, and it now seems like a 1000 IQ strat there from Neuro just to get onto that second set of soft tyres and take the win here at Spa.
Driver of the day, Roy, has to be like, I don't normally go for the winner. I don't really like doing that, but he didn't look like he was going to be a winner. He didn't look like it part of the way through the race, did he?
Yeah, just that mistake from Nordi dropping him down the order, and then some good moves on Calradion and Max to take the win of this race. And Jinxie with the P2, a bit of a last minute second place on the podium there for Jinxie, really sort of profiting from the late move of Max, just unsettling Calradion and allowing Jinxie through. I imagine there will be a steward report coming from Calradion, and we'll have to see what the stewards have to say about that.